Welcome to a total legit guide for Yareli, the surfer girl. The surfing girl. I guess. You know, surf's up, Shaka bra. Man, I don't understand surfing culture.
Hello, I'm a piece of garbage.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to the season that makes everyone remember that climate change it's actually real. And it's also a vacation, unless you're an adult or live in America. Man, those are like 2 jokes about America in 2 videos already. I'm on a fucking roll. So today we're going to talk about Yareli. Yareli is the character that they made because they didn't even know what the fuck they wanted to do. Like legit, I swear that I just saw a picture online of a fan design for a frame and decided, hey, let's make that.
That's literally what happened.
Somehow I'm not surprised. And somehow they also made her one of the worst frames in the game. Well, until they buffed her a few times, and now, well, she's alright. I like her. This frame is all about those trick shots, you know? Those lineups, you know? Those sets.
If you don't know what surfers say, maybe don't.
Fuck you, I do what I want. Yareli is the first and only character that focuses on only one thing, being a fucking e-girl, and she also surfs. This is essentially DA's attempt at making her their own version of Seraphine from League of Legends, or every single character in Genshin Impact. Because of course these days you can't have a video game that is also popular without at least one cute e-girl character. You know that DA didn't care about her at all when they literally released her as a broken and unplayable mess, and then gave her some buffs, and then ignored her for like the longest time until they finally fixed her, and then just went like, hey, so what's the worst thing that we currently have in Warframe? Well, CC isn't really that good, like Vauban is pretty much the worst because of that. I got it. Let's give her exactly what Vauban has, but shitty. That's not what and boom, now we have this. So remember when DE released their own version of Tony Hawk Pro Skater, but without the cool parts of Tony Hawk Pro Skater, like being Spider-Man or bashing your head into the floor? Yareli is essentially what happens when you say, let's put Tony Hawk Pro Skater into the fucking character itself.
Garbage.
Yareli's second ability is Merolina. Yareli hops on her surfboard slash skateboard slash jellyfish, which is basically just a fucking K-drive which you can use everywhere. This is not exactly like a K-drive, since first you can't mod it, and also it has a few moves like a forward dash that the K-drives themselves don't have. Now the cool part about Merolina is that she has a lot, and I mean a lot of HP. That HP translates to 90% DR for Yareli as long as you are on Merolina, which is essentially just a free adaptation. So if you add adaptation to it, well, you basically get Gara's level of DR, which is fucking insane. This is an e-girl cute character with the ability of a fucking tank. Like, what's next? Give a fighting frame the ability of a mage? Oh wait. A few things that you need to remember with Merolina is that while it behaves like a K-drive, it still gives you the option to dash like the dodge. Another thing is that while on Merolina, you can only use your secondary gun, and none of your basic abilities have a cast time, so you can just keep moving all the time. If you have a subsumed ability, then you just can't use it at all on Merolina. This ability defines your entire playstyle and turns Yareli from a cute anime girl to a goddamn, like, to this thing. Whatever the fuck this is supposed to be. Wait, what? What the fuck? What the fuck is happening? What is this? What the fuck? Now, the problem with this ability is that K-drives were not exactly designed to be used in regular missions. You're fine in open areas, but in regular closed mission, it's a bit hard to move around until you get used to it, and even when you do, you still get clipped or run into a wall, which can be a bit infuriating. What's also good with Merolina is that she works really well with the passive that Yareli has, since when Yareli is moving, she gets a 200% crit chance buff for her secondary gun. This is a huge buff, and it makes Yareli's damage go through the roof with certain weapons, plus since it's an additive buff, you can still add more crit, and if you have Rivens, it just adds to it, to the point that you're getting red crits on every fucking shot. But let's be fair, if you're the kind of person that uses Rivens, you're probably already getting red crits just by being alive, you unskilled piece of shit. Her first ability is Sea Snares. Yareli sends out 5 snares that seek out and capture enemies, up to 15 at a time. Once they're captured, the snares suspend the enemies in the air and deal continuous damage to it per second. It also heals Merolina if you kill an ensnared enemy. Dude, like, what the fuck? It's not the best thing in the world, since the main job it has is CC, which Yareli's ult does way better. The problem with it is that all of her other abilities are way better, and since while yeah, Merolina makes her really tanky, her base stats are not that great, which means that she really needs her for survivability for places like the Steel Path. It's still good in low levels, but for high levels, I like to use either Pillage or Gloom. Both are good, but do different things, but you always have to activate them before going on Merolina. Now, the split between choosing Gloom or choosing Pillage changes the way that you need to build Yareli. If you go with Gloom, you basically build towards slowing enemies. Since you can't heal while you're on Merolina, what you basically want from it is to just slow the enemies enough that they can't really attack you as long as you're moving, and so you can just slash proc them with her 3, which we will get to in a bit. Pillage, on the other hand, gives you a giant shield and armor strip, so together with the DR, you effectively have Nidus's level of survivability, but you will sometimes need to get off Merolina to refresh it. Also, since when you are hopping on Merolina, you have 4 seconds of invulnerability, the enemies can't kill you until after you get the giant shield. Oh my god, that was a lot of words. This isn't even that complicated, my god. It's like every modern frame now has to come with their own fucking instruction manual. Wait a minute. Her third ability is Aqua Blades. Yareli starts to spin 3 water plates around herself that deal slash damage when hitting enemies, and it has a guaranteed splash proc. Holy, this was only 1 sentence? In lower levels, this ability is insane. Like, you just start shredding anything that comes close to you to fucking bits. In high levels, this doesn't deal as much upfront damage, but it does have a massive slash proc that works really well with her other abilities and shreds their health bars faster than I can shred my YouTube channel. Hey, so what do you call Yareli when she surfs over the ground? Surf and turf. Yeah, I'm gonna delete this fucking channel. While this ability itself doesn't have a lot of damage alone, the augment for it gives you the option of making her into a DPS character. Surging Blades lets you fire slash bubbles at enemies after activating the ability. You basically just spit all over the enemies with this ability, which reinforces the rule to always spit and never swallow. This makes Yareli a slash applying machine that can even shred high level enemies. This is where most of Yareli's upfront damage comes from. It's like if you took a water hose and pressured it so hard that now you can make these very scary but very oddly satisfying videos on YouTube. Man, what the fuck? What is this? Dude, what is wrong with this game today? Her ult is Riptide. You drag all the enemies in the area into a vortex that deals cold damage over time, and then blows up, dealing bonus damage. The more enemies caught in the vortex, the more damage it deals. This ability only has one problem. Why the fuck does it do cold damage? Cold damage doesn't scale at all. Sure, the effects help you deal more damage with the blades since the enemies keep staying inside it, but without her 3, she wouldn't be able to deal damage at all. Now the good part is that it's a great grouping ability that is almost like a better version of Chorus 2. Because it's instant. After you group all the enemies, you just shoot them a bit and use your 3 augment a bunch of times, and boom, big damage. Playing Yareli is pretty simple. You activate Pillage or Gloom and then hop on Merolina. Then you group all the enemies with the ult, shoot them while moving for the passive and to activate Growing Power. And then you spam her 3 with the augment. If you have a secondary that is strong enough, you can just use that all the time. As for the builds, it's mostly just this one, going for Adaptation for the 99% DR, Growing Power for more damage from her 3, and a bunch of strengths to get as much damage as possible out of her abilities. The build for Gloom is this. You want Arcane Aegis and Augur Reach so that you can keep her shield up while spamming her 3. Besides that, it's kind of similar to the other builds, just where you're accounting for the fact that you have Gloom on instead of Pillage. Now, if you ask me what I think, well, in general I tend to not think. That's just my preferred state of mind. It's just not thinking. But if anything, I'd go with the Pillage build because it's easier to do and you just win instantly all the time just by picking it. That's just it's just gonna happen.
Do you have a source for this?
Well,
My source is that I made it the fuck up.
Yareli is probably one of the most annoying but also fun friends in the game. Like, she really isn't the best because she doesn't have the extra thing that top tier frames have. Like, Mesa has a lot of damage very fast with her 4. Seren has a lot of AoE damage. Revenant doesn't die almost unconditionally. Yareli works and is fun to play, but she doesn't have that one thing that pushes her over the edge for being very good. Right now she's kind of like a bootleg tanky version of Octavia. If they just made her ult stronger and made it deal damage that isn't cold, that could really help her, but despite all that, she's a very unique and fun frame, if you can look past the clunky skateboard. Honestly though, I kinda like the skateboard. It's fun to just chill and surf around, so yeah, I'm just gonna catch these waves, you know? Gonna get my these beaching waves. Yeah.